So this is so this entire journey of the Eastern wisdom, the goal is self-discovery. What is self-discovery? To find real self. What is real self? Now, you have a goal that today I'm going to earn $1,000. In the evening, you have $1,000 in your hand. Exactly the same way Eastern wisdom works. So when I'm talking about real self is of the nature of peace and happiness. Am I in peace and happiness 24/7? $1,000 in my hand. Why I married? For happiness. After the marriage, am I happy all the time? Mind deeper inside say I should not have married. I did a mistake. So the question comes why we fail and how we should succeed. Huh? Right? So I'm coming directly to the question. Don't repeat these principles again and again. I have understood it. Really? We have understood? Yes. Okay. You wake up in the morning next day. First experience, your personal experiences, peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. Second day you wake up, it is same. Third day, wake. First option. Do you have that? Do you live into that state? Answer yourself. That's why we are continuing the journey. Keep a smile on the face. Don't get upset. Sometimes we start blaming ourselves. Look at this guy, he is blaming us. No, I'm not blaming you. It's a reality check. Second situation, you wake up next day, you have a stress, any kind of stress. The mind gives you the stress, the intellect says peace is my essential nature and the stress is gone. You don't need to attend the session. And if that is not happening, I have to find out an answer why we fail and how we should succeed. Did you understand these two examples? I simply said why we have been attending these sessions for so many weeks and months and years, why we fail. Huh? I'm repeating it. You wake up in the morning and you are in peace. It continues until you sleep. Next day, third day, fourth day, it's natural. Real self is natural. You are there. But still you attend the session because now you are applying these practices in your daily life, in your relationship with your mind. Second situation, you wake up in the morning and the mind brings the past impression. You have a stress. and you have the knowledge coming, pouring down into the mind from an intellect. Peace is my essential nature. Stress has to do nothing with you, and you are changed. Second situation. We are answering the question why we fail, how we succeed. Now, the third situation. You wake up in the morning and you have some issues and you have some problem, you have some pain and suffering. Hell with the teacher, this beard guy looks crazy. There is no peace at all. And then it takes over your life. These principles in the teachers, these principles in the teachers, and the practices all have gone. Why we fail? Answer. Why you fail? Answer this. No, don't answer me. Answer to yourself. Because you have a problem. Answer yourself. Are you getting it? Why we continue this journey? First thing that you learn every week and you start applying these principles in your life. You are living your life, my friends. You're living your life with the relations, in your profession, your social and the family life. Your perspective of the entire world should change. Your perspective of your self should change. If they do not change, that is why you fail. No. But I've been attending these sessions for weeks, months, and years, and nothing is happening. Yes, another reason. Another reason. I have intellectually accepted this teaching, but I'm not realizing, translating them into action. A subtle ego works. I have understood. I wake up in the morning with a stress. Mind says, I have understood. Hell with the teacher, hell with the teaching. Nothing is happening. Find out the reason. Find out the reason. Reason is within you, not outside. Why we fail? I have created a big gap between my intellect, who declares that I have understood, and the mind that continues its old ways. And then we have an excuse. After all, I have depression for so many years, it will go slow by slow. No, it will not go slow by slow. Are you getting it? Say yes. We do not challenge why my mind goes back to the same old stuff, doing the same thing. I do not challenge it. Journey of these weekly sessions, especially on Mondays and Thursdays, to bring about a fundamental change in our life, in our attitude, in our thought, in our action. I have not been able to raise my level of awareness to recognize the projection caused by the mind in ignorance results into stress, maniac attitude, behavior, etc., etc. I left the sentence incomplete for you to complete. Understand, my friend, understand. I have understood peace is my essential nature, but the wound is there in the mind on the surface. I hate this guy. No, peace is my essential nature. I react to a situation, Happiness is my essential nature. Otherwise, we have many excuses. Otherwise, happiness is my essential nature. Except in your situation, except when you come, then I hate you. Do you understand the gap between the intellect and the mind? It will not work. That is why, now you see, that is why I'm answering the question and then I will come directly. Why we fail, how should we succeed? That is in our tradition, that you have the principle, but the teacher gives a different context. When you share your experiences, I pick up a lot of things, and then I said, okay, the next session I will pick up this topic. That is why we adore, we respect the teacher in our tradition, because the teacher gives you a different context based on the principle. You study the books, you don't get any, except the basics. Oh, peace is my essential nature, happiness is within me, the real self is that. But the context that your mind is demanding, you get from the teacher. I think you might have understood until now. But the teacher is not important. You are the most important. That is why I asked the question. That is your question. Why we fail? How should we succeed? Now, what is? So, desire to succeed, yes. Uh, Jerry knows. She has completed youth yoga teachers training with the Casey, and she has been with me. Her parents are asked me that you should mentor her, and it has been the third year. I gave you one sample. Yesterday, she was talking to me. She had her younger sibling cried, reacted, angry. She said, when you calm down, then I will talk to you. Jerry knows she is only for 30, now 14 years. Why we fail, how we succeed. It's not that, I just talk of dry principles. No, it is not intellectual. Intellect must push the mind to bring about a change. How dare you, mind, tell me that I am stressed? She said, then I asked her that what happened. She told me, then I left the room, and when she calmed down, then I asked her that younger sibling, both her sisters, that did you solve your problem by crying and angry over me? She understood the very first chapter of Yoga Sutra clearly. We understood the different states of the mind, and we just opened up all those principles. And I was so overjoyed. So we teachers in the Eastern wisdom become happy because you are now responsible for your life. A reference point, and then I'll come back. My master who initiated me, whose master, told my master in front of thousands of students of my master's master that this guy, means my master, has evolved 1,000 times higher then me. Now you all are his student, not mine. That is the tradition. You rise high because we feel that the tradition will continue. That is the best gift we get. Yeah, minimum basic necessities, you have to pay us. That is a different thing. Coming back to the desire. Remember, and follow this again if you have some issues when you wake up in the morning and you feel the mind returns to the stress. As the Terry was explaining, but my body is not listening to me. Why should it listen to you? Why? Body is a guest house, a motel where we live for a few days. So remember again, world consists of three things only. Three things only. Time, place, object. Object includes person, people, things with home. Now, time, place, and object. You bring them together, it creates an event, it creates a situation, it creates a relationship. This is what it is. Let me recognize this. Instantly, when there is an instant recognition, the intellect bringing the knowledge to the mind. Situation made me angry, upset. Really? Does any situation has an anger element in it? Look at it. See, it is because of my mind. My mind perceives that situation differently, possibly with the likes and dislikes. My time is not good enough. Ah, really? Your time is not good enough? It's your time? Do you see that? When you see it clearly, then what happens? Then I realize my mind gives an interpretation of a particular event and a situation, and then it runs after the stress, anxiety, anger, duality, conflict, manic. One girl texted me, a good friend of mine, that you met my sister, she's maniac. I stopped for a while. I said, no, it alarms me, it makes me more alert and attentive. So after 5 minutes, I sent her a text that I'm more maniac with a smile tag. Why should I label anyone? And I know her, she has been in manic for the last 3 years. Who declares that my sister is manic? Because if I continue with that mental state, and this is created by the only three things: time, place, object. Object includes peace. Now, question comes: why the mind gives such an interpretation? We should understand that. Why we fail? How should we succeed? I'm just focusing on that topic. But why my mind gives that interpretation? When I have understood, I have heard from this beer guy that the peace and happiness are my essential nature. Have you heard from me? Yes. Say yes, you have. But then why? That interpretation is a projection. It is against the right knowledge. Right knowledge means it is against the right thought. So when you have a projection, and then the mind gives its own interpretation, and own interpretation, then you have a feeling inside, an emotional reaction outside. Did you understand? Say yes. If you do not understand, let me. I am stressed. When you use this word, so there is a subjective feeling of the stress inside and the emotional reaction. Don't talk to me, I'm in stress at this time. Talk to me after an hour. Let me grab a cup of coffee and then I will talk to you. You see, this is the reaction outside and a subjective feeling inside. This is comes from the projection, the inner honey that we have covered. When you wake up in the morning and whether the inner honey has taken over you, you have, can I say, you have a fundamental right to refuse it. No, no, I won't. I will carry out. I'm in stress. How many years? Maybe for the last 10 years. You will not live for 10 years if you live continuously in stress. You cannot be alive. Do you see that? No, 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 you don't understand. You see, the mind gives the wrong interpretation. So then we have a lot of desires. What is desire in relationship to anxiety, duality, delusion, conflict? Desire is a projection, manifest in anger, anxiety, greed, delusion. What is that desire? Desire for peace and happiness will come from outside. It will never come from outside. Do whatever you want. Desire has millions of kids, siblings, sons and daughters, sisters and brothers, parents, in-laws and outlaws. That desire. You have a stress because of the desire. You have duality because of the desire. You have anxiety because of the desire. You have manic because of the desire. I'm giving you some different references to think it over, and you will get, uh, the right perspective of the knowledge. Desire means that I want to prove that I'm rich, that I'm beautiful, that I'm good. And also, I want to prove that I'm stressed. Why don't you understand? What should I do if you are in stress? Live in stress. What I'm going to say. The psychotherapy will never say, otherwise, they will lose their business. Add I am before proof. That is the journey of East and West. Did you get it? Desire means to prove. Eastern wisdom means to improve. I have a stress in the morning. Let me improve. Let me raise my awareness. Let me not engage in these interpretations by the mind. Let me evolve. Mind, let me do the practice and then I will think about it. Do you see that? We don't do that. I can give you different words: prove and improve. Choose one. Engage and evolve. Choose one. If I choose pain, choose it, that's your choice. Then then you are not learning Eastern wisdom. The last point that you have to think and contemplate and reflect. If there is a desire, there is a desirer. Mouse, I have a desire for the mouse is an object, and so there is a desirer in me. Or you can say, I am a seeker. Seeker is normally used in a positive sense. Desire and desirer. Another word that you should think of, a thought and a thinker. Now tell me, is thinker not a thought? Are you getting it? Desire and desirer. Thinker and a thought. This is mouse. This is one thought. Clear? And I am holding the mouse. So this I am is also a thought. Are you getting it? No. Let me make it simple. In our mind divides the I thought as I am, other thought as the world. When I say I am Sam, is it not a thought? It is a thought. When I say this is Mark, this is also a thought. Desire and desirer both comes from the mind. Whenever we have a desire, the mind divides itself into two, and then it causes all the problems in our life. And when it comes, when you have that conflict, it results into when you wake up in the morning, there is a desire, there is a desirer, means there is a thinker. Who is that thinker? You are. What you desire, free from the stress. So both these thoughts continues to fight against each other. That is why we say you have to introduce a new thought pattern in the mind coming from the Eastern wisdom, followed by the practice to answer the question, why we fail, how should we succeed? Got it? Not a long sentence, but it's a simple. The moment, the moment you think based on the principles of Eastern wisdom, 50% of the issue is gone. I told you, you wake up in the morning and I'm not feeling well, I still have a lot of challenges. Peace is my essential nature. Happiness is in me. Mind, you're still wandering, let me do the practice, then I will come back to you. You do the practice, you are relaxed and calm, you live at a higher level of awareness. With that higher level of awareness means the intellect. And that intellect brings the knowledge into the mind. There is no stress. On a lighter note, when the mind is playing with us, do you agree the mind plays with us? Don't you have the guts to play with the mind after so many weeks and months? Ask yourself. If you have the guts, you are more intelligent. Then you are really intelligent. especially in couples relationship, when people come to me and I say, who is more intelligent out of the two? Who has to take the lead? And here is your intellect and the mind. Let the intellect takes the lead, and you will change yourself. The world is just a game. It's a play. You play with the mind, or the mind plays with you. And remember, this mind plays with us is an indication of corresponding projection, results into stress, depression, anxiety, maniac, and all the problems causing suffering. There is a corresponding element present in the mind. And that gives me an opportunity to evolve, to improve, and to realize the real self. As your mind has become mature. No, no, I'm just saying your mind is already mature, but are you ready? Yes, close.